Good afternoon again. You're getting 2 in a row, which is fun. I don't really know what this ride's gonna look like. I don't really know exactly where I'm headed. But I'm gonna get off these noisy roads here in a little bit, hopefully, or at least get away from them. I'm waiting to hear from my buddy. So I'm ultimately heading over to his house, but I'm taking the very scenic route there. So I'm not quite sure how long this will be. I'm not quite sure if it's gonna be in an entirety or short, who knows. But I'm thinking I'm gonna head and do the rail trail here in Milford, because it's been a little bit since I've visited that old thing. So we're gonna cross through the treacherous oval here. We're gonna sneak right behind this bus. We're gonna ghost this bus right here. Sneak through the side. Power through. I'm sure that driver loves that. All right, and this, hopefully gonna do the same thing here. Try to do it without scaring too many drivers. And I've got a gap. So I'm gonna get in front of that bus, signal for our left around the bend, and then signal right. And look at that. We just got a nice slingshot right through there. So now we're gonna head down 13. If you're not familiar with the Milford Rail Trail, which I'm always surprised by the amount of people who don't know about it, not that there's any reason that you should, other than the fact that I think it's pretty cool. It's a little bit off the beaten path in terms of, it's not very, I don't know, it's kind of a hidden park, like you gotta drive to it and park. There's no convenient way to walk to it, so I think that's a reason that if you're not kind of a rail trail person, you don't really have any reasons to have visited it. But it's really well maintained. Like most rail trails and such around here, a lot of it's just volunteers, just people who go and bring their chainsaw, cut down a tree every time there's a big windstorm or big rainstorm or something. But it's a nice long stretch. I actually have a video that you can check out. No way you'll be able to find it without me putting a link in the description, so check just in case I had the motivation to do that, or remembered to do that. But I did make a video following the entire Milford Rail Trail that eventually turns into the Brookline Rail Trail, that follows the old Milford Brookline Railroad, obviously. But you can essentially walk from where I'm about to show you, the entry point, all the way down to Lake Potanipo in Brookline, which I believe is about 7 miles, I want to say, 8 miles. So I'm trying to think, I biked it down and back once. It was a long way, it was a long day, but it was fun. I mean, if you're up for the challenge, it's unbroken, unbroken as far as a rail trail's definition goes. There's some stairs and a couple roads you have to cross and things of that nature, but otherwise, you'll be able to follow it. And yeah, it's a long way. There's a lot of really cool spots. Like I said, there's a video that I did where I followed it and filmed it, so I'll maybe post that in the description. If not, good luck finding it. It is so hard to search for my content on YouTube just because everything's such low viewage. Even if you have like all the exact, got a pretty sweet car pulling out here. How are you? All right. So now we're gonna go down here into the pothole-filled parking lot. And there's a little bridge right here that we'll take. Ooh, I'm in a little too high of a gear for comfort on all this. So I'm gonna kick down here really quick, right on this flat. I'm like way up in low third. And we will make our way across this little nice bridge across the river. Climb up here. And this is where it begins. Now, if you start here, if you see right here, there's a little sign that says sun. And then after it, you have a little sign that says Mercury. And a little sign that says Venus, and so on and so forth. And they're placed at the scale distance from that the planets of our solar system are from the Earth being the beginning of this trail. I'll show you where Pluto is. It's at the very end of this. This thing is about 1 mile, I think, give or take. But as you can see, the beauty of rail trails is they're all really flat because trains can't go uphill without the use of a switchback, although there is a switchback on this trail further up the road. You have to kind of know where you're looking because the trail doesn't follow it anymore. But yeah, without the use of a switchback, a train can't go up a hill, so they had to make them all flat. They had to make them all very level. And so during World War II, if I'm not mistaken, there was a big campaign for scrap metal, basically to manufacture bullets, ammunition. So the United States government went through and ripped up all this retired railway, which the state in New England used to be full of it. So they ripped it all up, and it left these paths, these trails, these rail beds. And of course, I don't know when the trend began, but slowly, town by town, people started reclaiming them into these little recreation paths. So on the East Coast, we call them rail trails. On Central and more West Coast, they're known as recreation trails, because most of the time they're not actually railways, because they didn't have nearly the rail infrastructure established that we did by the time railroads fell out of fashion for, most transportation and cargo handling and things. Got someone with the dog coming up here. How are you? Good. So, anyway, it's just a little fun fact, something I like to think about. I have an affinity for trains. I don't really know why. I have a strong affinity for the Industrial Revolution, and railways just kind of go hand in hand with that. So I think that's kind of what it is. It just represents a sense of industry gone by. So we're coming up the end here. I think we already passed Pluto. Or I think maybe Pluto's actually on the other side of this road. We'll go check it out. Now this spot, coming up here, there's a road crossing. Everybody forgets that this is a crossing because this trail is not regularly used enough for people to remember. So I, in my less confident parts of the season, like to walk my way into the road, and then I'll mount my bike once I'm on it, because frankly, there's a nice little hill here that's kind of fun. I'm a little bit ginger on these turns because I don't know what, like I said, sometimes you can come through here at the beginning of the season, there's a giant log right around the corner, and I don't like to bust out. But I'm just gonna come up here to the bunny tunnel, I think as it's called, which somebody told me that's why it's called that, because it literally exists to allow rabbits to cross the street. I don't know if I buy that, just because it's too perfectly human-sized. They could have saved themselves a lot of money by actually making it bunny-sized. So I'll just show it to you. I don't think we're gonna go through it. Let me demount right here. So this is it. Oops, let me tip down. This is it. If you follow that tunnel down, you can go connect with the rest of the rail trail. As you can see, we did a lot of bending and S-ing, so where the actual railway went gets a little ambiguous. But another fun thing to look for if you're on Google Maps at all is a lot of times you can find clearings where the railway used to be, because again, there's no like trees through most of these. They're all free of trees. So if you look at them from an aerial perspective, in an area that's densely populated with trees, you'll notice these like just kind of bald spots, these bald lines that go through the, I don't know how to describe it, but you'll see them. So usually if you want to know if you're, you know, because like, let's listen, a locomotive cannot make a turn this sharp. So you can go online and on Google Maps and look at the satellite imagery and say, okay, well, if I just draw a straight line from where it is now, and you can follow it. So it's kind of cool. All right, this is gonna be a pretty sharp hill that we're gonna tackle. So I may need some moments of silence or moments of heavy breathing as we go up here. There's no great way, oh, what is this? Oh, NH tap. Yeah, there's no great way to show you, but there is a, I'm gonna kick down to low one here already. There's a great housing development to my left that just has a gorgeous view. And you know what, when we get to the top of this, I'll dip into a neighborhood that was being built right at the beginning of the pandemic. And I remember going down there and sitting. I remember going down there and getting off my bike and sitting on a big dirt pile and having this stunning view because they had clear cut all the trees up there. But then, I think it was last spring, I went for a run and I ran up to that same development. And of course that beautiful view was all paywalled with houses that you know, you have to own in order to enjoy the view. So, a little bit of a disappointment. But all that being said, I want to go check it out. So give me a couple moments here. Let me get up this last beefy part and we'll carry on. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's nice. That's that nice burn. All right. Lactic acid's kind of like, it's like spicy food. It doesn't feel good, but you crave it. You keep coming back. But just like spicy food, you enjoy it more if you have a bit of a more controlled tolerance to it. The signal left, going to this neighborhood. Let's go check it out. So like I said, beginning of the pandemic, 2020, summer of 2020, I think it was only about these first 4 houses on my left and right were built. And then the road that's dead ahead to me didn't even exist. This road that I'm about to turn left on, this road was all dirt. And there may have been some frames, some houses that have been framed, but there were certainly none that were completed. And this was all dirt. There was no lawns, no infrastructure, no sidewalks. So we'll just come down here. I'll show you kind of where the furthest point that I could go was. Oh my gosh. You can tell I'm gassed, huh? I gotta get on some more. So right here, so at the bottom of this hill, right here was a big old dirt pile to my right that I could climb up on and look above this tree line. But of course, that's not possible anymore because there's houses at the sweet spot where the dirt pile was. And as I ride around this now, I can tell that this has been turned into one giant loop. It's kind of cool, I guess. Let's climb up this thing. But yeah, cool area, right? I mean, you know, it's just, sometimes it's fun. I've been doing a lot of thinking lately about how, you know, I saw, oh, I'm out of breath. I saw a picture of 101A going from Milford to Nashua. And it was from, I believe, the early 1970s, like 1971. And it was a picture of that road, like a slight aerial. And the road was 2 lanes, and there was vast farmland on either side of it. And if you know the area, you know that it does not look like that anymore. And anyways, I just like to think, I'm like, that was so not long ago. You know, there's lots of people, there's probably people watching this video who might even remember a time when it looked like that. And so I think about, if I continue to live in New Hampshire for another 20, 30 years, which I certainly plan to, you know, or let's say like when I'm in my 60s or 70s, what's gonna be different, you know? Because it's certainly not gonna be the same. Change is the only constant. Change is the only certainty. So whenever I notice a spot where they've cleared a bunch of trees and built a bunch of houses, I just like to take a little moment to visualize what it used to look like and appreciate the fact that, you know, I was alive to witness the before, and I'm alive to witness the after. It's a nice little moment of experiential gratitude, I suppose. So I think what I'm gonna do, because I gotta make a phone call here in just a few minutes, is I think we're gonna go over to the middle school / high school area, and I think I'm gonna end the video there. Obviously, I'm gonna carry on my bike riding, so I'm gonna overtake this lane here. I'm just gonna peep around this stop because I really don't want to lose my momentum. Looks clear. I'm just gonna go up to the middle school and, yeah, I think end the video there. But as always, thanks for joining. I'm glad I was able to get a 2-for in, a back-to-back. There'll probably be another one of these this weekend, but otherwise, I do have a couple video ideas that I'd like to try. I've been really into visual art, like motion graphics, using generative fill. And that can be a little time consuming. So I have to save it for the right nights, the right days, and the right moments. But anyways, that's all here, neither here nor there, as they say. I turn in here. Thanks so much. Oh, somebody asked what my setup looked like. And I have to try to remember, because you said you were debating on a couple different things. An Osmo Pocket, a 360 Go, and then a GoPro. I don't know what your budget is, but I would personally go for a GoPro, just because you can even go a couple generations back, like a 8 or a 9, and it's gonna be just fine quality for doing something like this. And it has a the interchangeable battery thing is just really nice. And also the universal mounts for GoPros are much cheaper than Insta 360 stuff. I've had an Insta 360, the 360 camera, the X2, and it was great. Anyways, I don't know, if you want my opinion, I would just go old GoPro, don't go new GoPro. GoPros are so incremental in their change and in their improvements that it's not worth the extra money. In fact, GoPro, you're gonna find a lot of this stuff used on Facebook Marketplace, because frankly, a lot of people get GoPros for their vacation because they're cheap and they're well marketed and they're really good at their marketing. But then when you take it on vacation, you realize that it's all kind of like not what you want. So people buy them for their vacation to Cabo, and then maybe they use them, maybe they don't, and then they put them up on Facebook Marketplace. This is all more information than you asked for, but I'll post a picture of my setup. And thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.